Hi, it's Amy here, and I just wanted to let you know that we really missed you at this week's Fabulous Together kickoff call. So I wanted to send you this video so you could spend some time over the weekend, over the next couple of days, seeing what we've got up our sleeves. So 2020, as you know, was really a bizarre year. And as you can imagine, our in-person training events really came to a screeching halt. But I had the good fortune to have a lot of one-on-one coaching engagements throughout the year. And I really used that time to just study people and see how people were responding to this whole COVID thing. And I saw different kinds of people. So there were people like my friend Erin, who really shined through this process. In fact, her motto has been never let a good crisis go to waste. And she took it as an opportunity to say, what do we need to do to reinvent our business? And let's do it. There were other people who were really growing through this process. I mean, think about all the things that we've learned and how differently we're operating today. We're doing things that maybe we couldn't even imagine a year ago. Some teams easily made the transition to that work from home setting. In fact, I have one of our Lead Ignited graduates who said that he put in place daily huddles and touch points and online productivity tracking that was working so well, he intends to keep it in place even after we go back to the office. On the other side of the coin, some people have really just been overcome with the feeling of being alone and the stresses of the situation. You know, some people are just struggling with the uncertainty, the unpredictability of what, might happen next. And it's been a really stressful time for people. Then there's people like this guy. His name is Tom Moore, and he is 99 years old. He is a British Army veteran, and at the beginning of COVID, he decided that he was going to walk around his garden and do laps to raise money for their national health system. And this is a great story of the power of one, because he wanted to raise 1,000 British pounds. And he actually got 170,000 people to contribute over 4 million pounds. So, just people have reacted very differently through this whole process. And it's been very interesting to watch and to study. Me personally, I've done about, 12 jigsaw puzzles, binge watched way too many Netflix shows, and I really did enjoy having my kids who kind of moved back with us during the original shutdown for a couple of months. It was fun to have them home for a while. At Work Ignited, we've really spent the year reinventing the way we do things to serve you better, not just during the pandemic, but even beyond. But we really wanted to do something more. We wanted to create something that would bring fabulous women like you together in a very virtual way. Imagine for a moment a community of women who want to learn from each other, or a place where you can go to get actionable ideas for being your best, or creating a collaborative team. Or maybe you need something that would help you stay on track to achieve your goals. Or just a place where you can get inspiration and the feeling of how fabulous you are all the time. We think it would be great to have that too. And so that got us thinking, how can we combine just-in-time, binge-worthy learning content with the magic of a girls' night out? And how could we help people like you solve your toughest challenges in a safe community of like-minded professionals? And the cherry on top, could we build something that you could use as a robust yet simple mentoring solution for the women in your organization? And that led to Fabulous Together being born. So today, I want to tell you more about what we're thinking and how you can get involved. But first, I want to tell you a little bit about why people typically come to communities like this. Some people are really looking to build clarity around their goals and where they're headed in the future, while others need accountability partners to just keep them on track. Some people feel stuck in their careers and just need a boost, while others would love the camaraderie of a group of like-minded people. Yet others are on a mission to do big things and just need a place to focus. So we put these 5 kind of reasons for joining a community like this together and put it out to our groups that participated in our webinars. And overwhelmingly, people picked number 4 and number 5. And I thought that was really exciting because the women who are participating are on a mission to do big things and they want to do it with a group of fun people. But listen, whatever your motivation is, I fully support you because Fabulous Together is designed to be a judgment-free zone for you to be yourself and get what you need to have a successful career and a fabulous life. So over the next 20 minutes or so, I am going to give you a little exercise to start thinking about how to be even more fabulous than you are today. Then we're going to talk about what Fabulous Together is all about. I'm going to show you some of the pieces. During our live webinars, I gave the participants an opportunity to kind of break out and talk to each other. And I'm going to tell you what some of the takeaways from those discussions were. And then I'll answer your questions that you might have because they had them too. So I built them into the end of the presentation. So stop multitasking, pay attention, and let's get you going. Now you're going to need that letter that I sent you along with your Fabulous Together journal. And I'm going to give you a 5-minute exercise. So after I give you the instructions, pause this video and do the little exercise, and then we'll pick up where we left off. So you're going to have a 5-minute post-it party. The first thing I want you to do is put on some rockin' music. During the session, I went to YouTube and played Whitney Houston's I'm Every Woman. And it was, not only is the song great, and she's amazing, but the video is great too. So I had that playing. Then you're going to take those 10 post-it notes that I sent you. And what I want you to do is I want you to think about 2021 and the things that you would like to accomplish. And I want you to come up with at least 10 and write one thing on each post-it note. So you've got 5 minutes. Put on your favorite song or find that Whitney Houston I'm Every Woman YouTube video. Pause this video, get your post-it notes done, and then join me on the other side. All right, well, you are already on your way to being fabulous because you've taken the first step at identifying some of the things that are really important for you to accomplish this year. So now I'd like to get you thinking about these things in a little bit of a different way. We're going to divide them into what I call the 5 facets of a fabulous life. And you can follow along on the back of that letter that I sent you. You see, we've been very intentional in how we've built Fabulous Together. I dug deep into my 30 years of working, first as a corporate gal at M&T Bank, and then as most of you know me, working in the organizational development space thanks to many of you. And I've really thought about what drives success among all the professional women I've worked for, I've worked with, and I've admired from afar. And I studied them to figure out what they all have in common. And what I found is that their success, and more importantly, their overall fulfillment in life, is tied to these 5 facets. So let's dive into each one. First, fabulous women shine. They have their own distinctive personal brand. They're confident yet humble. And they have a defined set of personal beliefs and behaviors that give them a foundation for all they do. They're talented and strong critical thinkers. But more importantly, their sense of gratitude and the remarkable way that they integrate their work and their home lives help them be their personal best. So take a look at your post-it notes. Which of your goals will help you to be your personal best? Have you listed behaviors or habits to develop so that you'll really shine? If so, stack those post-it notes up and put them by the shining together picture. Second, fabulous women work well with others. Whether they're at the office, school, church, or community group, they know that work gets done with other people. They collaborate well, they're masterful at influencing, and they can navigate through conflict because they know it's healthy to do so. So take a look at your post-it notes. Do any list improvements in how you could collaborate with more of your peers? Or do you need to refine your influencing skills or other talents to be the ideal team player? If so, stack those post-it notes up and put them near the working together image. The third thing fabulous women do is they manage thriving teams. They establish a strong culture and vision, and they build trust and accountability to get results. Are some of your post-it notes designed to get you off that treadmill of doing all the work and finally leading others? Perhaps you want to delegate a few things to either your functional team or some of the project teams you oversee. Do you want to move forward with a more productive, engaged, and powerful team? Then stack those post-it notes up and put them near the thriving together image. The fourth facet is growing. Fabulous women know what they want to be when they grow up, and they see a clear career path. They also know their strengths, what they're good at, and what they're not so good at. Maybe it's a leadership role, or perhaps it's to be a fabulous individual contributor. Wherever they want to go, they intentionally find the experiences, have the accomplishments, and build the networks to get there. So, which of your Post-it notes are focused on taking the next step on your career path? Stack those up and put them near the growing together picture. Our fifth facet is giving. And with an abundance of talents, fabulous women like you have the power to change the world. So if you have Post-it notes that have to do with volunteering or becoming a community leader or even just sharing your talents with somebody else who really needs it, stack those up and put them near the giving together picture. We know that fabulous women shine, work well with others, lead thriving teams, grow in their careers, and pay it forward by giving to others. We also know they don't do it alone. That's why each of our facets and the name of our program includes the word together. Now, when you become a member, you'll actually get access to our online membership site. And on the site, we've organized all the content into these 5 facets. So when you log on, you'll see you're on this landing page. And if you click on topics up at the top, it will take you to dozens of topics that we've already preloaded into the system. For each topic, I've recorded 5 to 10 minutes of my best advice. I lay out problem-solving frameworks step by step and action by action to achieve your goals. You'll also read inspiring stories of women from history, business, and even our community. And I've put some reflection questions at the end so that you can strategize and think about your next steps. You'll even find some inspirational quotes to post on your bathroom mirror for that morning burst of inspiration. And you can download everything right to your phone on our app so that you'll have this information whenever and wherever you need it. But one of the best parts of our Fabulous Together membership is that we're building this great community. And at the kickoff webinars, we gave the group a chance to break out into smaller groups, and they compared their sticky notes so that they could identify at least one thing that they all had in common. We were actually kind of surprised to hear that over and over again, the thing that came up the most was women just wanted the opportunity to invest in themselves and to take some time for self-care. And we just love that, because if you're not taking care of yourself, you really can't take care of anyone else. So that is definitely a top priority for us. And this community actually can be accessed right through the set itself. So what I'm showing you here on this screen is an image of, it's like our own private LinkedIn or Facebook page where only people that are in the membership can connect with one another. And we've put some topics in here to kind of get you thinking, but you can even add your own and keep contributing to the discussion. Now let's talk about deeper learning. During the first week of each month, we're going to hold a virtual group coaching event. And at these events, we'll take a deep dive into the topics that are important to you. And we'll even have fabulous guest speakers, including some of you, if you have something to share. So let's talk about next month. So many people tell me, I wish I could be more confident. Or their supervisors say something like, she's so smart. I wish she'd have the confidence to speak up more. Her low self-esteem will really hold her back from moving forward. And since we want to make sure that you get the coaching, connections, and the confidence to achieve whatever you want to achieve, I think you're going to love where we're heading. So if you find yourself thinking things like this, or if you find yourself overthinking things and end up failing to share your opinions or make decisions or take action, our February event is for you. And I am super excited to share that we are going to be interviewing Cami Clooney, who you might have seen if you are a fan of The Voice. She made it to the bitter end because she is amazing. And wait till you hear all the things that she's accomplished in just 2 decades of her life. So much more than just being on The Voice. And although she is poised and beautiful when she is singing in front of like 8 million people on a world stage, she has to overcome the occasional lack of confidence. So she is going to share her advice with all of us. And of course, we'll have some time for you to share with each other. Now, you also might need to overcome some hurdles or obstacles or just out and out problems to make your goals happen. So during the third week of every month, we're going to be holding our virtual hotline sessions. Simply send us your problems in advance, and then during the call, we'll tackle it to share ideas, things for you to consider, and frameworks for solving your problems. Of course, we'll change the names to protect the innocent. Really, our biggest priority is making sure you get the support you need. So that's what these hotline events are for. Now, during our kickoff sessions, we did a quick poll to see what day of the week would be best for everyone and what time of day would be best. And so far, it looks like Fridays, I'm calling them Fabulous Fridays now. Fabulous Fridays are the best days for people at noon Eastern time because most of the participants are on the East Coast. But we've got some from Wisconsin, and we've got some from California. So we want to make sure that we account for the time zone differences. So right now we're shooting for the first and third Friday of every month at noon. But I'll give you more information about that as we go. Now, the next thing I want you to do is grab your Fabulous Together journal. So this is our first draft, beta version. So dig in and tell me what you think about it. The structure, the cover, the binding, the content, the wording, the spacing, whatever. That way we can make revisions for the next printing. Because you see, research shows that journaling has so many benefits. This is a super critical piece of our program. I actually have 4 big reasons why I think journaling is important. The first is something I learned from a therapist. It has to be 20 years ago now, when my son had some anxiety problems. And she suggested get him a notebook and every night have him write down 3 things for which he's grateful and 1 thing that he's really worried about. And it didn't take very long, like literally days, for him to quickly realize there are so many great things happening in life and just a few things that he was really worried about. And those things he could either control, manage, or just overlook because of all the great things that he had. So number 1, journaling really promotes gratitude and a positive mindset. Now, for those of you who see me in person, you know I live and die by my paper calendar. I will never give it up. And that's because I always find like writing things down helps me when I'm hearing or learning. It reinforces that in my mind. And so whether it's, my calendar or notes, I'm always writing when I'm listening to other people. Journaling also helps me to plan more effectively. I think you can dream in your head, but if you're going to put a plan together, it has to be on something more tangible. It can be a whiteboard, it can be on a Trello board, or why not just be in your journal, right? The 4th reason, it keeps me accountable, keeps me on track. So whether it's my Weight Watchers journal, my Bible study, or my Fabulous Together journal, it helps me to make sure I stay focused on my goals and where I'm headed. So I want all of you to dive into that journal. So start on pages 4 and 5. To make it easier, we have kind of scripted out your next steps on pages 4 and 5. And once you get into the membership site, there's a Start Here function that'll also walk you through the process. You'll see really short little videos around just more information about the program, how to use the membership site, how to use your journal, and how to create your success path that I'm going to show you in a few minutes. Then click on Topics, and you'll see that on page 4, we suggest that you start with gratitude, because I really want you to know how many fabulous things you have in your life and how many things you can really be proud of. Then click on Community and check out who's in. You can upload your picture, and if you'd like to, you can share your social media contact information in case you want to get in touch with each other outside of our forums. Just so you know, this is only a private space for our members, and we never share your information with anyone. So, we ask that you respect that same privacy. Now, if you click on this month, you'll be able to see what's coming up. I haven't updated this yet, but I think, the date and times for our first live virtual coaching event will be that first Friday in February. Again, we're focusing on confidence, but this will help you to always know what's coming up so you don't miss anything. And if you can't make it, we'll record it and put it on the site so that you can see it later. So now it's time to focus on what I called your success path earlier. So I need you to find a quiet spot, a nice warm blanket, a cup of tea, because you are just going to focus on you and think about your long-term vision and your dreams. Your success path is not a to-do list or a list of accomplishments that somebody else is telling you you have to achieve. It's your personal vision of where you'd like to be in the future. In fact, those Post-it notes that you put together probably will get you started along this path. In the Start Here section of the site, I've recorded a video that will walk you through to outline your entire success path. And if you're like me, make sure you get some pretty colored pencils because we want your journals to look fabulous. Now, if you need help prioritizing, you can take our Fabulous Together quiz. You can download it right from the site, and like your Post-it note sorting process, it will help you to prioritize where you might like to focus when it comes to our topics. And as I mentioned before, our coaching topics are divided by each facet, so look them over, and then on page 8, make a list of the ones you might want to tackle over the next couple of months. Now, the last step in your planning journey is to create your 4-month goals, and that's on page 9. So now that you've identified your long-term success path, your priority Fabulous Together facets, and the coaching topics that you think you're going to focus on, jot down the small goals or the little victories that'll help you to make progress along your success path. Rome wasn't built in a day, and your fabulousness won't be either. But if you stay focused on your small actions, getting to those big goals will be much easier than you think. Now, I've been going through all this stuff at lightning speed because I know you're busy. So if you're overwhelmed, don't worry. Once you become a member, I'm going to send you an email every couple of days just to make sure you know where you are and to stay the course. Now, one of the questions that came up in the session, in fact, we've already had 3 people who are in our sessions who said, I'd really like to use this to build a mentoring program for the women in my organization. And we think that is just terrific and can't wait to get them started. But what we've heard is that mentoring programs typically fail. And they fail for a variety of reasons. Sometimes it's because we try to force a fit between mentors and proteges, or we don't help them prepare for their conversations. Sometimes mentors, proteges, and their supervisors aren't really clear or comfortable with the process, or people feel like they're going to be trapped in an obligation or a relationship forever. Sometimes mentoring programs fail because they're just more of an HR program than something that people really embrace on their own. So we've designed Fabulous Together so it can serve as the basis for a mentoring program for the women in your organization, or even a professional group you belong to. And we believe this is a better way to create a mentoring program for 3 reasons. First, we believe that mentoring relationships grow organically. You can't force them. So we show our members how to identify interested mentors so that they can proactively reach out to connect based on their own defined needs. Second, we believe that mentoring relationships should be mutually beneficial. A mentor shouldn't feel like this is a one-sided relationship. So we give our members the resources and the confidence to own the process and to plan for their conversations and to add value to each mentoring moment. And finally, we believe that you need more than one mentor. Throughout our lives, we meet a variety of people who shape our thinking, connect us with others, even serve as our advocates. So we encourage members to reach out to more than one person, even if it's just for one conversation. Now, once you get into the site, you're going to find a guide for mentors. So whether you're approaching this as a group or just on your own, if you identify a mentor, you can give them this guide. It'll explain the program and give them some tips for making that mentoring moment everything you need it to be. And if you would like to bring the program in-house, there's also a guide that you can download, and it'll walk you through starting what we're calling Fabulous Together circles, or your own little mini groups within your organization. Because our motto is, like, why be fabulous alone when you can be fabulous together? Now, during our calls, people ask some questions, so let me review those with you because you might have them as well. The first question, how much time will this take? Answer to that question, it's totally up to you. We know that your time is precious, so we have designed all of our coaching topics to really take less than 10 minutes to watch, although you might want to save a little bit of time for reflection. And those virtual events, we're going to keep them to less than an hour unless you tell us, boy, we really would love to spend more time together. In fact, if you flip in your journal like to pages 16 and 17, you'll see the rest of it is set up to focus on what you'll be doing each week. So on the left-hand side, we want you to definitely celebrate your weekly wins. But on the right-hand side, you're going to see planning for this week. And we don't want you to, bite off more than you can chew. Just try to do one thing. So for example, during the first week of the month, you might tie into the coaching event. And the second week of the month, you might take 15 minutes to go through a coaching topic and think about how you can apply a new skill. You might have a problem that you want to put into the group for some discussion and feedback and tie into our hotline event during week 3. And then during the 4th week, when we're really not doing anything as a group, that could be a great time to reach out to a mentor and schedule one of those meetings. So, a lot of people tell me I'm stretched too thin right now. This just isn't the right time. And I'm here to tell you it's time to shift your mindset from waiting for the right time to creating the right time. And to make that a little bit easier for you, once you get into the site, you'll see right on the homepage there's a little block that says bonuses. And I've put 2 things in there that I think you'll like. One is called Time Mastery. And I know if you work through that downloadable ebook, you'll find at least an hour a week that you can focus on your own self-care. The other thing is a fan favorite called 20 Ways to Keep Calm and Carry On. This is something I've used with lots of my coaching clients over the years. They love it, so I dusted it off, gave it a pretty look, and put it into the system for you as well. Now, the next thing people were thinking was, but Amy, you know my situation. My problems are just not solvable. I don't know if this is going to work for me. And I'm here to tell you it is time to stop sweeping those problems under the rug or struggling to solve them, because I'm going to give you immediate access to dozens of proven techniques for solving your toughest problems. And what we don't have in our topic library today, we'll add based on your input or cover in the hotline calls. And better yet, we had over 45, I think it was almost 50 people that tied into our calls. I know somebody in this group is going to have the answers that you need. Now you might be thinking, but Amy, I've started things like this before, but I just wasn't disciplined enough to finish. And again, we have you covered, my friend. Remember, you'll be defining your success path, turning those Post-it notes into goals, and using that weekly journal to stay the course. And even if you fall off track, getting together with us twice a month will make sure you get back on the wagon and stay the course towards your goal. So think of it this way. Your life today is a reflection of what you started a year ago. When COVID first hit, we had no idea what we were doing, but think about all you've accomplished and what you've learned and what you've done in the last year. Now think ahead a year from now. What do you want your life to look like, and what do you need to start doing right now to make that happen? Third question, obviously people are wondering how much this costs. And, I know that coaching programs usually cost like $5,000, $8,000, $10,000. I had someone tell me the other day they're charging $20,000 for coaching. I think that is obscene. And so, we're going to knock some zeros off of that because we want as many people as possible to get the coaching and the confidence and the connections that they need to have a successful career and a fabulous life. So it got me thinking about how much do we typically spend on things as women? And if you've seen me virtually this year, or even if you watch some of the videos in the membership site, sometimes my hair is blonde, sometimes my hair is brown, sometimes my hair is red. And so I did the math, and I have spent over $1,500 getting my hair colored this year. And the salon was closed for half the year. So we spend a lot of money on ourselves, but sometimes not always in the best way. So what we're going to do is bundle all of the things I've talked about in a package. And we're going to look for you to give us input as to what the pricing should be when we launch this to the general public. We're kind of thinking right now that we're going to make this $79 a month or $790 if you make a year-long commitment. But certainly for you as founding members, we're going to count on you to help us to build this baby. So we're going to chop that in half, right? Because we got some expenses that we need to cover and things. We're thinking $39 a month or $390 if you want to commit to the full year. And that then gives you everything and you in essence get 2 months free. And if you're sitting there saying, I know I want to bring some people from my organization into this, some women from, kind of create my own circle, we're starting with the concept of if you have 10 people that you want to get involved, it'll be $630 a person, so knocked off a little bit from our retail price that we're going with. we'll give you that circle guide and we'll have a startup call with you so that you can launch this the best way possible for your group. And certainly if you want to enroll more people, we can talk about volume discounts. And again, we're looking for you to give us some input about what those an appropriate cost might be. But listen, if you want to see this information in a more condensed way, go to fabuloustogether.net. There are links right there where you can sign up immediately. So jump in. We had people already that have jumped in. We're super excited to see that. And if you have more questions, just send me an email that says, Amy, I'm still on the fence because, and fill in the blank, and we can communicate over the weekend or early next week to get you in. But listen, I want to thank you for joining us. I would love to have you as part of this group. I think you would be so impressed by the people that are already jumping in. They're great folks. But if it's not the right time for you, I understand that. But I want you to know that we are really grateful for your business and most importantly, your friendship. And go Bills!